What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Friday, May 31st, last day of May. And we're standing at Polderbaan, which I had hoped would be in use for arrivals at least until somewhat later in the morning, so that we could see the arrival of the brand new A350-900 from Delta in the Team USA livery. It is about to touch down in a couple of minutes, probably on runway 06. I hope we can still see it from over here. Wind was going to change to the north somewhere in the day. That was expected already. Unfortunately, it all happens a bit sooner than anticipated. This is SAS. Let's see. After the SAS that we saw in the background just now, we are going to see an all 777-200 arriving from Tel Aviv land on 06, and after that it is Delta Airlines flight 74. So I'm going to see what we can see of the A350 in a moment. In the meantime, departures to the north have begun. I'm also standing a bit further down the road. There's somebody already at my spot, if you can call it your spot. So I've now been squatting and have occupied pilot Sander's spot. This is the Adler Embraer 190 German Airways special livery, flying as KLM flight 1019. What's the current status quo? Cloudy. The sun every now and then shining between the clouds. We are not expecting any precipitation anytime soon. This is not judging on the weather by the weather radar. This is El Al, the 777-200 arriving from Tel Aviv. The next airplane to land on 06 after that is going to be the Team USA A350 from Delta. Does look like my setup has a little bit of a tendency to move to the back, maybe move it a little bit to the front. Still has that tendency. Also noticed just now that the remote is now positioned in a location that it's not handy to use for movements to the left, but that's okay. I can still reach the regular zoom rocker. Right, so first time it is visiting the Netherlands, Delta Airlines A350-900 in the SkyTeam livery. Arriving from Atlanta, Georgia as flight 74. 7.5 hours on the way. And this airplane is brand new. First flight of this airplane was last month in April. On the left you can see helicopter Kestrel hovering. And there it is. First ever visit of the new Delta A350 in the SkyTeam livery, which is also going to depart again to Atlanta around 1 o'clock. So hopefully we will be able to see the outbound departure up close. For now we'll have to make do with what we can see from over here. Not sure. Don't think we are going to see it out in the open anymore after this. No. Sadly not. So that was Team USA for the first time ever in the Netherlands now. Outbound again around 1 o'clock. And that terrible disappointment, it is time to go back to the outbound traffic. Next airplane that is going to take off is going to Cork. Shamrock flight 841. An A320, 15 years old, first flight January 2009. In the meantime, a very good morning and warm welcome to everybody who has joined already. Happy Friday to you all. Hope everybody is doing well. Now over here in the water, not much to be seen so far. Also visibility hampered by high grass that needs to be cut desperately. Next up is a Britty Hopper, Embraer 190 flying for KLM City Hopper, outbound to Humberside, KLM flight 971. It's an Embraer 190 long range, 15 years old. Its first flight was in January 2009. You can see just how fast these Embraers are climbing compared with the heavy wide bodies. And let me just see if I can maybe mount my remote differently to a different leg. I think that might work. Still trying to find a way to use the remote that Lambert gave me over the weekend. See what is the best way to use it. I think maybe positioning it on this leg works better for reachability. Now in the meantime, and that is sadly typical for departures. Now we have to wait. Yeah, this is one of those slow days again. We have to wait, we have to wait, we have to wait. There is traffic underway though. There are several underway. 737 to Oslo. Embraer 190 to Aberdeen, Embraer 175 to Christiansand. But they're all still quite far away. What is inbound then? Let's see, KLM flight 644 arriving from New York JFK is now flying south of New Vennep, so probably still somewhere over there. But it is slowly but surely making its way over here. Should be the next airplane to land on 06. In the meantime, we're waiting for the next outbound traffic to get in the vicinity of this runway. Still some time to go. Little flyby over ducky there. Hey, and Harry the Heron is also present. Nice. Oh, and Donald is also there. Duo ducky flyby. Also a seagull passing by from the other side. Right, camera has difficulty focusing on it, so let's go back to manual focus. Let's see. We should be able to see that 787-10 arriving from New York any time now. Or has it already landed? Flight radar says it should be close by, though I'm not seeing it. I am hearing something behind me though. It's a well-known triplet. Nice one. Right, see that there's also an A330 coming this way, so it's not just narrow bodies coming this way. In the meantime, first traffic has arrived. KLM 737 to Oslo, flight 1199 has already taken the left-hand turn to make its way over to the runway threshold. Two airplanes behind it, two narrow bodies still on their way over here. And the A330 should be behind it, which still has to become visible, and I think that's what we are seeing now in the background. That's the A330 to Sint Maarten, which will also be coming this way. Doing a turn and burn, KLM flight 1199, outbound to Oslo. Nice combo shot with the landing traffic in the background to 06. Lovely cloudy vistas here. Another departure from the center runway. What's this? A321 going to Madrid. KLM. Okay, is that privilege style then? Yes, that is privilege style. Next airplane to Aberdeen is coming this way. It's number 190 KLM flight 913. In the background, the firefighters. And the next airplane is already spooling up, going to Kristiansand, Embraer 175, KLM flight 1185. The A330-200 to Sint Maarten, taxiing to the runway threshold in the background. Yeah, not really sure if the remote is making the workflow handier when traffic is moving in this direction. Still getting used to it, first time since I got the remote, so Vinny says, who else is waiting for the new big finger in the cloud? Not the God-fearing subscribers. Right. Here we were thinking that the A330 was going to take off. First a little narrow body to Linköping. KLM flight 1243, Embraer 175, 7 years old, first flight May 2017. Alrighty, KLM flight 787 up next. It is a consistent running gag to assign airplane type numbers as flight numbers to flights being flown with different airplanes than the flight number suggests. If you're still following me. This of course has flight number 787, the Dreamliner, but it is an A330-200. Going to Sint Maarten. 18 years old, first flight October 2005. Right, Embraer 190 to Gdansk is lining up, ready to go to Poland from pole position. Now, let's see, it's KLM flight 1303. What more is there to say? The airplane is 14 years old, had its first flight in September 2009. And the next airplane coming this way to follow this one is going to be an Jet A319. For those of you joining later, welcome to the show. This is AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing along the Polderbaan, now in use for departures as 36 left. Center runway also being used for departures. Wind changed to northerly direction sooner than anticipated, which meant that we weren't able to see the first visit to the Netherlands of the brand new Delta A350 in the Team USA livery up close. We were able to see it land on 06 just now. It is expected to depart again around 1 p.m. local time. Back to the USI. So, with a little bit of luck, we are going to see it take off from the Polderbaan around 1 o'clock. Had a quick glance at the departures list as soon as I realized that things were changing. I do believe that the KLM 100 years was also expected later in the morning. The Adler we already saw. Not too sure about 747s. There's always a couple in the departures scheduled list, but since they're cargo exclusively, their actual departure times often deviate from what is scheduled. So whether or not we are going to see any 747s in today's show, let alone from the taking off from Polderbaan, I don't know yet. And this is an A319, which will be going to London Luton in a moment. KLM flight, EasyJet flight 22514. It's Orange KLM. Orange KLM to London Luton. Right, let's try this again with the remote control. Let's see. Probably just takes getting used to. I didn't say Polderbaan. Absolutely not. Yesterday it was Polderbaan. Today it is Quietbaan. E2 Embraer to Dublin, making its way over to the runway threshold, taking off in a few moments. KLM flight 1137. This E2 is 3 years old, had its first flight in April 2021. Yeah, I feel bad operating the zoom rocker of the camera directly allows me to keep the shot more closed in. Yeah, I think that works better in this configuration. Meanwhile, the firefighters have returned to the station. And we are in awaiting of the first Air Baltic A220 going to Tallinn. Which I think, yeah, there it is. In its wake is KLM flight 601, which will be going to LAX. Erik asks about the airplane dance today. Absolutely not, that was a one-off event. And Erik asks about the threshold. Well, that's only a sure thing if you know that the wind isn't going to change. And as I was arriving here, it was still arrivals over here. I knew that later in the day the wind was going to change, but when, you don't know. If you're doing arrivals or if you're doing departures from the threshold and it switches to arrivals, you're caught at the wrong location. This is a spread your bets, safe bet, where you can film departures well and arrivals well. So whenever the wind is uncertain or might change, I feel this is a better location than the threshold. Plus the threshold has that big box to the left, that ILS shed, for lack of a better name, which I also find a bit of a hindrance, blocking the view. Here it's more unobstructed. Alan says, are you thinking of traveling to a different airport in the future? Well, first let's see how the channel will develop. I think that might be something worth doing if the channel is really growing into something bigger. And right now I'm not seeing that, so I'm not going to change anything just yet. Would be nice though in the future. Right, cheaters lane entry to the runway for this A220 Air Baltic going to Tallinn, where all the tall people live. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight May 2017. KLM flight 601 to LAX behind it, making its way over to the threshold. And also American Airlines. Hey Evan, top of the morning man. We'll be sending an airplane over to you right now. KLM flight 601. The 787-10. Should be arriving there in, what is it, 9 to 10 hours or so? PHBKK, 3 years old. First flight December 2020. Rise, wings, rise! Do that flexy thing you do. American Airlines up next, ready to go. Go where? Go to Dallas, Texas. This is a 7878 Dreamliner, first flight May 2023, so somewhere in this month it turned 1. Happy birthday. Still an infant. And it's whining. Who has the pacifier? Cry baby. Well, to you I say, spread your wings and fly away. And so it came to be. Right, big picture wise, this is what it currently looks like. Looking to the north, northwest, looking to the west, northeast, wind on the scale of chimney smoke, looks a little something like this, not much wind. Looking to the east directly, where an airplane took off from the center runway just now. Southeast, and this is what it looks like to the south. Hey, morgen. Sorry man, er staat iemand op mijn plek. Ik denk, dat neem ik die voor jou. Dat was Pilot Sander giving me the angry eye. Alleen liefde, nee precies. Yeah, the whole balance at Polderbaan has been disturbed. So this is where I would normally stand, but somebody else is already standing there. So Pilot Sander now has to set up shop in between us, because I am standing at another little bit of trampled grass here, which is where he normally stands. I didn't see him. Normally he would have been here when I arrived, so I figured he's not going to come today, but he did come today. Anyway, Next up is KLM flight 1269 going to Copenhagen. Let's see, 737-800, PHBXN, 23 years old, first flight December 2000. In the meantime, a very good morning to everybody who has joined already. World Aviation, good morning. And all the others who have joined in the meantime, good morning. We're standing at Polderbaan, used for departures today. 36 left. Around 1 o'clock we should see the departure of the brand new A359 from Delta in the Team USA livery. It landed around 10 to 10 on 06. We were able to see it. And it is scheduled to depart again to Atlanta around 1 o'clock. Unless the wind is going to change yet again. That departure will take place from this runway. Donna says you need a pole in the ground with a sign, boys spot. Well, yes and no. I mean, it is a bit arrogant to claim a spot in public domain, isn't it? most people know, but yeah, this is a good spot as well. This is Pilot Sander's spot, so has to be good. He's always filming from over here. Triple from United in the background, landing on 06. Right, next up, Shamrock to Dublin, Ireland. Aer Lingus flight 603. It is a regular A320 EI DEF, DEF, 19 years old, first flight July 2004. Should make a nice whistle when it passes by. Those older A320s and A320 relatives always do. You also hear it often with the EasyJets. Trademark sound. Now, contrail spotting, of course, also out of the question today, like yesterday. Unfortunately. Let's see, next up, KLM flight 741 to Bogota, 7879 Dreamliner and another 787 in the background landing, making for a nice balance in the presence of 787s at Schiphol. PHBHD, 8 years old, first flight January 2016. Flex. More departures from the center runway. It's also sounding similar to what we heard just now. It is welling. However, let us quickly switch back to the 777 to Lima. Up next, KLM flight 743. Off to get some Lima beans in Lima, in Peru. PHBVO. Biertje voor onderweg. Beer for underway. The airplane is 9 years old. Let's not give up on the remote just yet. I've noticed that when I do the following with the remote, the turnaround once it passes by and I have to zoom in instead of zooming out is not quick enough. Let's see if we can work on that. Oh, a learning curve after all. Now, Ryanair up next. We also are starting to see a little bit of a queue forming. More Air Baltic, more heavy hitters from KLM. Is that a cheater? Yeah, cheater's lane will be used by KLM. Royal cheaters. Ryanair up next, going to Dublin, flight 421, 737-800. It's the IAKI, which is 14 years old and had its first flight in January 2010. Triple 7-200 by the sound of it. Yeah. Just took off from center. No time to waste. We have Air Baltic up next. Going to Riga. So we already had the delivery of tall people to Tallinn. The riggers go to Riga. Election riggers and whatnot. They're all sent to Riga. Seven-year-old airplane. This Bombardier C Series 300. Embraer 175 to Stavanger. Up next, the cheat sheet, the cheater's lane, entrant to the runway. Flying KLM flight 1175. Off to Stavanger, 7 years old, first flight February 2017. Alright, slowly getting the hang of it. This was also filmed with the remote instead of the zoom rocker on the camera. I think it is a matter of practice. Is God flipping us the finger yet? Let's do a scan, an aerial scan. Doesn't look like it just yet. Do see interesting clouds here and there in the distance. Lined up and ready to go to San Francisco. Yo yo yo, is KLM flight 605. Another 787-10 Dreamliner. This airplane is 3 years old, PHBKI. First flight, August 2020. If you just joined us, welcome to the show. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing along the Polderbaan, runway 36 left. One of two runways used for departures to the north right now. And off it goes. Birds chattering. Haven't heard any frogs yet. They were here yesterday. Me and Sander were looking, not pilot Sander, but Sander Sake, who was doing the airplane dance with me. We never did find Kermit. Hey, Captain Edibles also in the chat. Good evening. Hope you are doing well. Hope Anian is doing well. See that Jane is also back in the chat. Good morning. Back to a couple of narrow bodies. 737-900 to Manchester up next. Man up in Manchester. Here we go. A little bit of blue over here. The sun is mostly hiding behind clouds. Right now, still too bright for us to see any sunspots. I will check that later. If the clouds are just thick enough, you can see sunspots on the sun without damaging your eyes. Now too bright, the clouds are too thin. Right, this airplane off to drop bills in Billand. And that's an all-white plain Jane, no offense Jane, plain Jane plane. A320neo to London Heathrow up next. BA flight 429. While we're waiting for the next airplane to come to the Polderbaan, let's have a look at what just took off from center. That was one of the TUI rentals, right? What was it again? Sun something something. Sunwing, that was it. Going to Bodrum in Turkey. Hey, firefighter leaving the fire station, or you're going to test the equipment, are you? That might be fun to watch while we're waiting. Captain Eddie Boss says, boys sound duck again. Wah, 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 wah. Something that you can calibrate your equipment with or something? Looks like it is. Is it calibrating? I have absolutely no idea what it's doing over there. Next up, EasyJet to Bristol. Flight 22922. It's the GEZUW. GEZUW. 12 years old, first flight April 2012. Piercing tool. Ah, that makes sense. Aloha Jinshin. Thanks for the kind words, Patrick. Evan says, we just had a massive rain cloud here in the north. Hope it will pass you with no rain. Not seeing anything coming towards me just yet. The only thing that looks a bit darker is over there, and that's in the vicinity of Purmerend. Directly to the north, not much to be seen, and I think that is where the wind is coming from. If there is weather coming this way in the form of precipitation, it will be moving very slowly, luckily. So we'll see it well in advance. That's the upshot of being here. More departures from center. Let's have a quick glance. What's this? The third Air Baltic. Yeah. That's something you often see. 3 A220s from Air Baltic taking off to the Baltic states. So all to the east of the Netherlands. 2 of them take off from one runway. The third one takes off from the other. Hardly ever do you see them all 3 take off from the same runway, which I find weird. Next up, KLM Flight 1005 going to London Heathrow, 737-800. The PHB XG. It's an XG, not a current G, but an XG, and this XG is 23. Hee. Another 737 to Gothenburg in Cheaters Lane. Time to quickly turn back. KLM 1231 has taken off already. Well, it's taking off, I should say. Hasn't left the ground yet. To Gothenburg, Cheaters Lane. No time to waste. I see the pilot Sander is already manning the camera, filming on the other side, so let me also turn back then, see what he is filming, namely KLM Flight 755, which will be going to Quito, 777-200, the PHBQL, 18 years old, first flight February 2006. Bit of openings. The Crow Crew members are doing a flyby. Yeah, use that solar panel to sharpen your beak. In the meantime, well, the PHBVD just took off from center. And we have a CRJ to save the day. Going to Copenhagen. Nice combo shot with BA in the background. SAS flight 552. See that Captain Jerry is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Russell also says hi to everybody. Good morning, Dave, Judy, Mika, all the others. In the meantime, EasyJet to Manchester is taking off. No signs of any precipitation coming this way anytime soon. In fact, I think it might open up shortly. Always lovely to see. You could make perfect time lapses of how these clouds develop over time. Meanwhile, our next airplane is coming this way. We'll be going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. KLM flight 655 at 777-200. Now, usually around 11:40 the runway configuration changes, and it is going to change then from 2 runways for departure to 1. Probably until 1 o'clock. This is KLM flight 655, which will be going to Minneapolis, Minnesota in a few moments. Dave says, did I miss the Delta A350? Well, it landed on 06, 10 minutes to 10 this morning, so 5 to 10 minutes in today's stream. It is expected to take off again to Atlanta around 1 p.m. local time, so I think we should be seeing it in, what is it, 2 hours and 10 minutes from now. Regardless of 1 or 2 runways in use for departures, it is probably more than likely going to take off from this runway, since it is headed to the west. This is the PHBQB, 20 years old, first flight October 2003. Right, here we go, the sun is out. Right, little bit of Swiss. We'll pretty soon start seeing the departure of KLM flight 661 to Houston or Houston. First, this Embraer 190 to Edinburgh, KLM flight 95. Oh dear, Captain Jerry due for surgery today. That doesn't sound well. Let me just, have I missed something? Yeah. All the best, Jerry. Must have missed what is going on then. This is KLM flight 661 to Houston or Houston in Texas. Airbus A330-300. It is the FACA, the PH aka 12 years old, first flight February 2012. no, staph infection after a minor cut. Those can be very annoying. In fact, a buddy of mine also ended up in hospital with what appeared like a normal staph infection, but turned out to be the flesh-eating variant. So he needed intravenous antibiotics. Also some surgeries to remove that tissue. So on the inside of the upper legs, not exactly the nicest location to be having that. Staph infections can be very gruesome, depending on the layer of where they infect. All the best, Jerry. K2 is chasing away some birds. Meanwhile, another Delta A330 is about to land on 06. Olga. Delta Airlines Flight 162 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Kermit is once again back on the scene. Although not to be seen. That doesn't mean that he's not there. Now, our next is this Delta A330 to Portland, Oregon. Flying NL says, love those Volkswagen heavies. Well, we've got 3 Delta A330s underway, 2 300s, 1 Neo. And oh shit, that is the 777. See that SLM is pushing back? But that is unfortunately a 777-200. Probably, what's it called again? Privilege style. Right. Jerry says, my nurse told me to go to sleep. Take care, mate. Hope to see you again soon. All the best. Inbound traffic to runway 36 right. About to land. In the meantime, the sun is nicely out here. Not really much going on in terms of precipitation. I think it is evaporating as it is moving south. This morning when I had a look on Flight Radar, it did look like we were right in the center of, oh, helicopter. We were right in the center of a low area curl, so to speak. That's the police. Or is it? It's not the lifeliner, is it? Let's go all in. Yeah, that doesn't improve. That doesn't improve the quality of the footage. It doesn't look like a lifeliner, but it is a bit Hard to see. Is it a lifeliner? Police. Okay, thanks Pete. I was busy following it. Pete luckily had a look. And there we go, Delta A330 to Portland, Oregon, to Jerry's hometown. Angel Ivy asks, does JetBlue, United and American operate to Schiphol as well? They do, absolutely. JetBlue flies to Amsterdam from JFK and Boston. American also has a couple of destinations. It's Delta that is the biggest American player visiting Amsterdam. That has to be said. There's a whole slew of heavies coming this way, folks. I think we're going to see 4 consecutive Delta A330s with 1 Neo and 3 of them 300s. So sit back and relax. This should be good. If you like Delta A330s, this is your 15 minutes of fame, so to speak. First one has left the ground, is going to Jerry in Portland, Oregon. And here's the Neo of the bunch. Delta Airlines flight 57 to Salt Lake City. This is Delta Airlines going to Atlanta, Georgia. It's not the A350 but the A330. This is Delta 135 to Detroit. And only then are we going to see something more moderate in size. EasyJet A320neo to Lickety Split. So, what was that? Hola! Not exactly sure what that was landing in the background. Surinam 777-200 has also been pushed back and looks like might be the next airplane after the A320neo to Split. Now the A350-900 in the Team USA livery is expected to take off also from this runway around 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. local time, so that is in just under 2 hours from now. We did see it land on 06 this morning. We have visual confirmation that it is in Schiphol Airport right now. That's Airlines flight 57 to Salt Lake City, A330neo. Tasho says, hey boy, you are the pilot in command of this flight. Well, thank you so much. I hope that means you are enjoying the show so far. I hope everybody is. Was hoping for arrivals, but well, we'll have to make do with what we can. Tomorrow it's going to be a weekend day. If the wind is still blowing from the north and the weather will allow me to go out, I'm probably going to go to the Kaagbaan to film arrivals. This is Delta Airlines Flight 73, going to Atlanta, Georgia. Drew says, like takeoffs too. Yeah, in theory they are likable. It's just that it's not always with a continuous traffic flow, and that's what I hate most about Schiphol Airport. It's too big. It has too many runways. Chinese triple in the background landing. More Deltas underway, this one to Detroit, Michigan, flight 135. Delta Airlines off to Detroit. 8-year-old airplane, first flight January 2016. The next airplane to take off is the A320neo to Split. EasyJet flight 27907. It's the OELSF, brand new. First flight March 2024. We do have the next airplane coming this way. Has become visible. Is it privilege style? The answer is yes. Surinam flying to Paramaribo in a few moments, sadly with a 777-200. Last week it was still flying with an A340. I was really looking forward to seeing it again. Hope it will return to Schiphol someday soon. Meanwhile, EasyJet flight 27907 to Split. So, big picture wise, this is what it looks like to the north and to the northeast. A bit darker. more to the east, patch of lightness, and then also something that resembles a shower in the distance, but this is southeast of me. In the meantime, we have the Surinam 777-200 from Privilege style lining up. Got an American Dreamliner following suit after that, and the pipeline is filling with more airplanes. I can see 3 already making their way over here. So for the time being, we do have decent flow of outbound traffic. SLM flight 993 flown by Privilege style in this 777-200 going to Paramaribo. It's the EC Muahahaha. It is 22 years old, first flight June 2001. Growling, nice. Right, let's have a look. Oh, the fishing nets are being checked again. So we will see those guys pass by pretty soon probably. American to Philadelphia. SAS, KLM and firefighter. More KLM over there. More KLM. I think that constitutes the pipeline at the moment. Let's also have another rundown of the weather while we're at it. So let's do a refresh. Wind is still blowing from the northeastern corner, just a handful of knots, 5 knots, 204. We have few clouds at 2,200 feet, and we have broken clouds at 4,200 feet, which also causes a ceiling. There's also a warning for temporary periods where visibility lowers to 6,000 meters and minor showers and rain with a few towering cumulus clouds at 2,000 feet. Yeah, showers in the vicinity. Luckily we can see them well in advance, so not too scared by that. Let's also paste it in the ticker. There you go. Time for our next airplane, American Airlines flight 203. On its way to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The airplane, 3 years old, first flight, July 2020. So if all is well, around 1 p.m. local time, we should see the departure of the A350, brand new A350 from Delta in the Team USA livery, which made its maiden flight to Amsterdam today and landed in the first 5 to 10 minutes of today's stream on runway 06. Expected to take off again around 1 p.m. We see SAS lined up. Another SAS is behind it. There's also a KLM in Cheaters Lane, but it is holding short. So probably the SAS is going to take off first. This would be SAS flight 556 to Stockholm. It's an A320 Neo, the ISIC EI SIC. 6 years old, first flight December 2017. Spooling up, coming this way. Crayfish fisherman. Next, going to JD's hometown of Düsseldorf. This is KLM flight 1799. It's number 175. Die Mike, goedemorgen. Hey, morgen. The fisherman, morgen. With the crayfish. Harvest. Soon in a restaurant near you, I think. Next, SAS A329 to Oslo. Flight 822. Checking the nets, emptying them. It means I'm a little bit more of a breeze has picked up. That's usually an indication that precipitation is in the vicinity, but looking around me, the closest by dark clouds are east of me. So I'm not thinking anything is coming my way directly. Meanwhile, we do have a queue of airplanes. And it is now 11:20, so is center still in use for departures? I haven't seen any airplanes take off from center in a while now, so I'm thinking maybe everything is coming this way. This is KLM flight 1753 to Hamburg, another Embraer 175. More Deltas in the background, noisy buggers, which is what we like. We like them noisy. Yeah, the darkest cloud is over there. It's that is passing east of me. Now I hear something big, so let's quickly turn further. It is KLM 591 to Johannesburg. 777-300 the PH BVN, 9 years old, first flight February 2015. Let's look and listen. No time to waste. Delta Airlines flight 161 going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330-300. 8 years old, first flight June 2015. Wind has definitely begun picking up. Previous airplane combo shot, nice. You can see wingtip vortices emanating from both sides. Oh, nice. Now you can see it even better. Sweet. Pete says A359 on the move, Singapore Airlines. I haven't seen traffic take off from center in a while now, so I'm thinking it is going to come to Polderbaan then. That would be terrific. Right, so departures from Polderbaan, which now looks like it is the only runway being used for arrivals. Let me see if maybe I have a moment to spare to check after or in between all of these departures. This is KLM flight 1219 going to Stockholm. It's a Boeing 737-900. Air Europa in the background. Flying a narrow body today to Madrid. To and from Madrid, I should say. Duo of duckies, I think it were. Photo bombing the moment. Now the first ever visit of the latest Delta A359 Team USA Special Livery. It landed this morning. We saw it in the stream in the first 10 minutes or so. It landed on 06. They already changed the runway configuration. I was aiming to film it landing on Polderbaan, but alas, runway change. It is expected to take off from Polderbaan around 1 o'clock. So in just over 1.5 hours from now. Very much looking forward to that. It's basically means that we are going to have the thumbnail of the stream already determined. Wolfgang has to go. And Maria confirming center is closed. Perfect, thank you so much, Maria. Wolfgang, take care, mate. Enjoy your Friday. See you in the next one. Pilot Sander and me now once again the only two over here. Filming along Polderbaan. Air Mexico going back to Madrid, not in a Dreamliner but a 737-800. Next up is going to be a KLM A332 going to Kigali. This is KLM Flight 535, the PHAOB. The airplane is 18 years old and had its first flight in July 2005. I'm always surprised by how wide the wings are on the A330. The A350 also has wide wings. Almost all Airbuses do, by come to think of it. The A330 also has the slowest retracting gear in the game. Takes forever. Sometimes on Deltas they don't even retract at all, initially. Right, so this is what it currently looks like to the north. The northeast. The east, southeast, south, southwest, and west. And we also had Daisy doing a flyby just now. What? Yeah, what? Right, indeed, Maria, if Deltas take off at all, which isn't always a given. So with the exception of Daisy in the water, I'm not seeing a lot of activity going on right now. That's not to say that there isn't 50. Such a beautiful machine. Also in this livery, looks really terrific. Singapore Airlines Flight 323, which will be taking off to Singapore shortly. More airplanes are following in its wake. BA. There you go, JetBlue. JetBlue to Boston. BA also taking a left-hand turn. And JetBlue also looks like it's doing that. Or hey, no, wait. BA is going to cheaters lane. Oh, let's have another look. JetBlue. JetBlue, JetBlue, what are you going to do? Also looks like it is going to cheaters lane. So I think that the two narrow bodies are going to precede the heavy. BA flight 437 to London Heathrow up next. A320, it's the Jet. My god. It's 22 years old, first flight March 2002. Now the question is JetBlue going to actually, yeah, it is turning onto the runway, so JetBlue 2 cutting in line, taking off before the Singapore A350 will. Probably won't be a lot of separation between the two. What's that? Let's play. Playtime. Playtime has arrived. We won't be able to follow this airplane long because I think Singapore, which will turn to the right after departure. Wait long for wake turbulence to dissipate, if it has to wait for that at all. Being bigger, JetBlue will be heading out to the west, and this airplane will be heading to the east. So the lights, the takeoff lights already went on, so let's quickly turn back, not miss a moment of Singapore Airlines. Going to Singapore. Flight 232, it's an A350-900, the 9VSJA. 4 years old, first flight November 2019. Now this is not the only A350 that we are going to see, folks. If you have the time to stick around, do so until 1 p.m. which is when the expected departure of the latest A350-900 in the Team USA livery of Delta back to Atlanta, Georgia is expected to take place. Ducky's doing a flyby. information as they typically do. Well, I think they are behind the trees now, out of sight. I already saw in the background that this airplane looked a bit different from what I have seen before. This one does not seem to be on flight radar. A320 or 21 Neo, although I'm not sure what this mystery flight, where it is going to or coming from. Not exactly sure. My flight radar didn't say anything. Did not show it. The next airplane is visible though. Going to London Stansted. It is a regular Jet A319. It's the OELQT, 17 years old, first flight February 2007. Alrighty, Global Jet Luxembourg, right. The A319 Neo. This is one of those moments again, which is why I favor arrivals to departures, where nothing is going on and we have to wait for the next airplanes to come this way. Definitely some airplanes on the move though. Pete says that center is open again. Why not? Yeah, sure, why not? No, that is typical. Just when we see a nice A350 to Taipei, China Airlines being pushed back, which will, oh, come to think of it, China still is allowed to fly over Russian airspace, so I think there's a chance it might come to Ponderbaan. That's not actually too far-fetched. Now, there are airplanes on the move. Most of them, though, are not heavies. We do have another Delta A330 coming this way. We also have an E2 Embraer in the distance taking off to Budapest. Probably the first airplane from the center runway again. KLM flight 1365. We're starting to get a few droplets here, and that is quite interesting because the sky right overhead is not that dark. We've had darker sky pass overhead before. For a moment I thought, was that Gary Grebe or something, but just a bit of net. Not much to be seen in the water. I think that the fishermen scared all the birds away. Or is there one over there? No, that's also looks like a bit of net. Hey, helicopter Kestrel. Hovering perfectly still, hands are off the camera and the tripod. You can just see how perfectly still it hovers. Hunting for mice to transport. This is a mice transportation company. Also time to do a refill of some vodka. Gotta keep warm. In the meantime, Delta Airlines Flight 47 has crossed the center runway. Is coming this way. The first next airplane, an A330-300 from Delta, off to New York. United Flight 70 also on the move. That is going to Newark. That's a 777-200. Helicopter Kestrel still doing some hunting. The next Delta A330 is coming. Also heard some ruckus in the field, though I'm not seeing Russell anymore. I do see that the seagull family is over there. Doing a little bit of nibbling, having breakfast. Also a quaint little windmill over there in the background. Never saw that before. Right. Now, can we see the pyramid of the Floriada from over here? Standing a bit closer to the parking lot. Not sure if you can see it. A lot of dance festivals take place over there in the summer. And at some point it was the Floriad flower display, if you will, was held once every 10 years, but I think they pulled the plug from it because people are no longer interested in it these days. Last year or the year before it, the last time it was held, it was in Almere. They even built a cabin lift, ski lift, so that you could go over the A6 highway. I think it was a financial fiasco. Still, the terrain over here does well for recreational purposes. When there's no festival or anything being organized over there, you can walk there. Often you see people running up there or walking the dog. Dave has just came back. Swear he said, it's a mice transportation company. Time to fill up with vodka. I think I need more caffeine. I never said I think I need more caffeine, but I think you're right. Oh shit, I should have also brought some Red Bull along. Vodka Red Bull. Oh, pew. So sweet. Anyway, Delta Airlines Flight 47 off to New York, JFK, A330-300. 21 years old, first flight January 2003. Accidentally bumped into the lower part of my phone. That causes the camera to go down. Yeah, so big picture wise, it's a mixed bag. It doesn't look particularly threatening. We did have a few droplets just now coming from what looked like unimposing sky. Looks darker to the west right now. Also looking to the northeast, it looks a bit more dark. Definitely looks a bit darker to the east, has been all the time. Helicopter Kestrel, in the meantime, looking for mice to transport, decided to come a bit closer to hover, which is nice because then we can see a bit more detail of it. If it continues to hover still, that is. Let's see. Going over there. A matter of time before it's going to find a new place to hover. Find new clientele. Yeah, set up shop over there. Well, not too long. If it were to do this a bit closer by, you could see that even though its body is moving, its head is perfectly still. Passing traffic. TCAS warning, traffic, traffic. Now, folks, thank you for your patience and for sticking with me. There is traffic on the move, although I am not sure if the A350 will be taking off from Polderbound. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it is turning to the threshold, to the taxi road that leads to the threshold of the center runway. We will be able to see it quite well from over here. That's not an issue. It's also Croatian. That just took off from center. Let's have a look at it. There we go. In the Star Alliance livery. Passerby sounding the horn of the moped. Beep beep. Beep beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep? Vroom. Got another departure from the center runway coming this way. Air France. Oui, oui. Bombardier. C-Series. Interessant. That's flight 1445. Ooh, have to dig deep here to get my French up again. Baguette R on the way. Let's see, where could we see through? I think it's over here. Oh yeah, there it is already. Already on the move, the next airplane from center. Just a little itty bitty KLM Embraer. Going to Genoa. Oh, this is something you don't see every day. Ambulance on the cycling path. Those are usually ambulances for general practitioners who have to do weekend availability shifts. They have a driver who drives them to any calls that they need to visit. This is Edinburgh 190 going to Toulouse. Hopefully not to pick up losers or to drop them off. There is an airplane on the move to Polderban. Believe it or not. It is a Dreamliner from TUI. It's just turned around the threshold, the southern threshold of the center runway though. So... Ah, merci beaucoup, Team Vertix, who says I'm French and you still got it. Yeah, 2 years in middle school, that's the only French I've ever had. So, really, 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 really basic. Still waiting for that departure of the A350 to Taipei. I think there's an A319 to Munich, that is the last airplane preceding it. Should be on the way now, there it is. Lufthansa, flight 2303. Team Vertix says, do you like learning French? Did you like learning French? Well, it was a bit easier than German with all those, I don't know what the word for it is in English, the der, den, dem, die. That was difficult. We don't have that in Dutch. And from what I recall from French, it also did not have something like that. So it was a bit more intuitive. But in the end, I was still able to choose the courses that I wanted to graduate in, and eventually only chose Dutch, English and Latin as languages. And what else did I have? History, Geography, Economics 1 and 2. That's it. So I had some deficiencies that I first needed to fix before going to university for my first study. Still needed math, so I had to do a summer course right after graduating. First get mathematics deficiency gone. Later for my second study I also had to do all the other exact sciences. So in the end still got certificates for chemistry, biology, physics. So in the end there's only a few courses that I did not have a certificate or a diploma for from middle school. German and French coincidentally being two of them. So here is the A350 going to Taipei. Grumpy face, China Airlines. Grumpy face, but a nice vista from over here. Even though I'm using a bit of digital zoom, I still like these shots. Don't know how you guys feel about them. You do get to see the airplane nicely from the side. Bit of wing fluff. With little wind and that remote for fine zooming. Really works nicely together. Now there's also something going to China that is coming this way to take off from Polderbaan. I'm happy to report. China Southern Cargo to Shanghai is coming this way. On the right side we can already see the Dreamliner of TUI coming this way. That's the first of the airplanes coming to the Polderbaan. The Chinese triple should also show itself somewhere on the right hand side anytime now. Also a Dreamliner to Toronto coming this way, sandwiched in between an Embraer 190 from KLM to Aberdeen. So it is definitely picking up again. Sun Express to Kayseri on the center runway, next to take off. I think we have it in the background coming this way already. Telescope mode engaged. Right. Enough colder at Polderbaan. It is time for serious stuff. We're celebrating another departure, going to Bonaire. This is Flight 395 from TUI. PHTFJ, 9 years old, first flight January 2015, 7878 Dreamliner. Hey, Michael, also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. There was one CRJ in the stream before. Haven't seen more than just that one thus far. And for those of you just joining us, welcome. We are also in expectance of the departure of the latest A350-900 Team USA special livery from Delta, returning to Atlanta after visiting the Netherlands for the first time since this airplane was delivered last month. We did see the landing from a distance. It landed on 06. They already switched runway use earlier than I had anticipated. I was expecting it, but later in the day, so sadly we could only see it land from over here. It is expected to depart again to Atlanta around 1 o'clock. The Chinese triple is coming this way. Oh, that's quite a lot of barbed wire. Barbed wire fence around the fire station. Unless that part of the building is not used for the firefighters. Interesting. Already an area restricted in access, and still they have barbed wire. What's going on in the tower? Sup folks, you're watching AMS Live and we're watching you. If anybody in the tower for Polderbaan is watching AMS Live, could you give us a wave? Always have to account for a couple of minutes of delay. So if they're watching, they don't want to let it be known. KLM B773 to Toronto, also coming this way. And as expected, let's just have a quick look here. Qatar cargo also taking off from center. Meanwhile, an Embraer 190 overtook the Chinese triple, so that it can take off first. Do it the other way around, and the Embraer has to wait for the wake turbulence of the preceding heavy to dissipate sufficiently. This is KLM flight 915 going to Aberdeen. Well, my cue to turn around is the fact that pilot Sander is already filming in the other direction. That's a visual cue for me that I need to hurry up, also turn back. Anyway, we have a Chinese triple China Southern Cargo going to Shanghai. Flight 452, it's a 777 freighter, the B2010. 9 years old, first flight December 2014. Let's look and listen. Bird control van on the left, on the right, I mean, doing a match. Is the car going to win? Or is the airplane going to beat the car? We have our answer. The airplane is in the lead now. It's going to win. QJ says, do we expect firework? Well, H1 is continuing, so I'm thinking not immediately. No time to waste. The 787-10 is already spooling up. KLM flight 691 to Toronto. No time to waste. Gotta move with haste. Still doesn't feel as used to as with the traffic going in the other direction, but I have been practicing with the remote control for zooming, which allows me to zoom from a remote control attached to my tripod. Also allows for much more subtle zooming in and out, but it can also lead to overshooting the zoom speed, going too quickly in or out with the field. So it's still a bit of getting used to. You can see zoom in slowly, zoom in more quickly. It's a bit like a throttle lever. However, my hand is no longer in the vicinity of the mic of my phone, of my monitor, so it does allow for smoother tracking in theory. No. Oeh, sensie ziek. That's not good. Beterschap. Snotterseizoen is over. How can you get sick still? All the best. It was a long season though, with respiratory infections. Still standing here with my parka on the last day of May. It was a bit warm when the sun was shining, not like yesterday when it's cloudy and a bit windy. Still a bit chilly. It is said that it is going to get better over the weekend with dry days ahead of us, so I'm thinking streaming tomorrow and Sunday should be no problem, Monday too. It's set to get better from tomorrow onward, although I believe they did mention something of chances of rain showers in the morning for tomorrow. Then again, they also said it might rain today and so far, and let me knock that off on wood in a moment. So far it has stayed mostly dry. Ziek van de cortisone. Oh dear. Yeah, that is anti-inflammatory. If you're already susceptible for infections and illnesses, if you use corticosteroids, it only increases the likelihood that you get something. All the best, once again. Beterschap. One airplane right now taking off in a few moments from Polderbaan. It is making its way over to the threshold. It is KLM flight 1167, which will be going to Bergen. If you look on the map, also if you follow this airplane on flight radar, once it has taken off, you will see it is flying basically directly to the north, continuing in the runway heading. That's how you end up at Bergen. This runway is heading to the north, so they're already on the right track. Basically climb out, cruise, descend, land. There you go, Bergen. The Sweetie underway in half an hour. Cool. I will probably be very occupied with filming unless traffic stays as slow as it is right now. Don't be afraid to step up to me and say hi. I was a bit busy focused on filming. What was that? Landing. Oh, that was Air Oink Oink, the A321neo. Oink Air. Now, did anybody have a look at the scheduled departures list of Schiphol? And can anybody tell me if the A350 from Delta, the Team USA, is still expected to take off around 1 o'clock? Or has anything changed in the meantime? Does look like a bit of precipitation might fall east of us. Over here, still looks good. The wind is coming. Well, let's have a look on the scale of chimney smoke. Yeah, it looks like the wind is blowing a little bit more from that area. So that's good, means that everything on that side is going to pass over there. So this should not be an issue. This is what we need to look at probably. And it looks good still. Also a bit darker to the west, but also nothing too serious. Also a couple of people on the other side. One of them being security. I think the dude on the left is wearing, is that a jacket from Securitas? Oh no, I think not. No, that's just that's just a kid. My bad. I thought one of these trucks was from the security companies that patrol here, but apparently that's not the case. Now let's see, there's a 4, 5, at least 4 airplanes are on the move to the Polderbaan. And thank you, Hans. Team USA Delta Flight 75, estimated to take off 1:15. Cool. If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. We already saw, if you want to see what we are waiting for, check out the first 10 minutes of the stream. We saw it land on 06 from over here. And we should see it fly back to Atlanta in an hour from now. There's already a Team USA A330neo, which regularly visits Amsterdam. This was the first visit of the A350, which was delivered to Delta last month and has thus far only flown a few flights, including to Los Angeles from Atlanta. So it's the first visit to the Netherlands of this airplane, which it in itself is brand spanking new. Oh dear, Marja, you're getting slow, beaten by Hans. More caffeine, damn it. Right, the pipeline filling once again, at least 4 airplanes. And ITA A320 to Milan is lining up on center, so we'll see that pass by in the background. When it does, I'll follow it a little bit. United Flight 947 to Washington is also on the move. That should be coming this way. That is a 7878 Dreamliner. Wind's picking up. I think I'm going to resort to enabling image stabilizer again. So far I've done without, but things are starting to vibrate a little bit. Few droplets are now falling. I think that what I showed you east of me, the tail end of it, giving us a few minor droplets. Nothing. Yeah. Excuses, Marja. Well, I use progressive age and caffeine deficiency as my main excuses, but I think your excuse is also very valid. What is it, time? 12 hours ahead? So it's now past midnight? Saturday already. Right, I think that the ITA A320... Oh, still 10:15, okay. 10 hours time difference. I think we are going to see the ITA in the background in a moment. Looks like it is on the move. Definitely showers in the vicinity because the wind has picked up significantly. Noticeably, I should say. There you go, ITA Airways off to Milan, A320neo. There's a little bit of rain in between the airplane and us. Droplets on all the screens over here and my glasses. Is the camera lens still good? I think it is. Keep the camera in this direction as much as possible and we should be good. So it was perhaps Securitas after all. No wait, it was not a VW that we saw. On the other side, I mean. Right, in the meantime also departures over here taking place. Just looking around a little bit. Missed first of the narrow body slew that is taking off right now. Hey there, Tom. 7478. Not seeing anything. It's really hard to see anything right now. Mostly overcast. The droplets that are falling right now are also limiting visibility a little bit. This is KLM flight 903, Embraer 192 Inverness. A330 taking off from center. Lined up, ready to go is KLM Flight 1139 E2 Embraer to Dublin. The PH NXB, 3 years old, first flight February 2021. There's quite a few planes on the move to Boulderbound right now. See another SAS CRJ coming this way, and the pack of new airplanes is being led by United. Right, in the meantime, I think the majority of the droplet reason has passed. Did I? I think I did, yeah. It should be good again. Right, the pipeline filling. United Dreamliner. No, that was a 777, wasn't it? No, it was a Dreamliner going to Washington. The next airplane to arrive with an Embraer 175 to Gdansk behind it. Next up in the pipeline, an EasyJet A319 to Bristol, closely followed by KLM Flight 1177 to Stavanger, Embraer 190. In the background we see LO 777-200 to Tel Aviv, which is taxiing on the taxiway to the center runway. So that is going to take off from center. SAS CRJ also vaguely visible. You saw it just now. Will turn to the left and come this way. Now, Turkish 777-300ER to Istanbul is lined up on center. As the CRJ is making its way over here. In the meantime, over here we have a line cutter that is entering the runway via Cheaters Lane. That is the Embraer 175 to Gdansk. And Turkish seems to be on the move. There it is. So I'm sticking with Turkish, and then we'll pan back to the United Dreamliner that is taking off after the Embraer from KLM. That will be taking off first. Turkish Airlines Flight 1952 to Istanbul, 777-300ER. 9 years old, first flight August 2014. Right. Next to take off from Polderbaan is United Airlines flight 947 to Washington DC. Boeing 7878 Dreamliner, 9 years old, first flight June 2014. Adri has to go. See you later, Adri. Enjoy the rest of your... It's Friday still, isn't it? Yeah. Does seem that that shower causing some droplets just now that is east of me is developing into something bigger. So I'm happy that it passed by already east of me. Looks a bit washed out because the sun is now being obscured by a big showery cloud, so everything looks a bit grayed out. And in fact, if you look in the distance, you can see there's even a little bit of precipitation between us and what we see in the distance. Now I'm also seeing that over there, which does not bode that well. I'm thinking maybe we are going to get some rain over here in a moment. I think I might also have to resort to getting the umbrella out again. So that pilot Sander was also reaching for his umbrella. Right, temporarily single-handed operation. Right, in the meantime we have Jet A319 on its way to Bristol. Here I was saying, I think I'm in the clear. Spoke too soon. Right, next up KLM flight 1177 going to Stavanger, Emperor 190. Obviously I can see that many droplets on the lens. Cleaning it now is useless because as soon as I follow this airplane to the north, wind is going to make it obscure with droplets again. Now, next up, the SAS CRJ9 to Copenhagen. Sorry about the impaired visibility, Michael. Well, it has stopped raining now, so I can at least operate bi-manually and do some zooming. That's the silver lining. If I'm really quick, I'm not going to be in time. Quick. Too far ahead. There it is. No, it's not completely dry just yet. Still drizzling a little bit, so the lens is going to get droplets on it again. I think we have had the worst of it now, because this is what is now coming this way, so but this is what just now passed, and yeah, still a few droplets are falling. Delta Airlines up next, flight 49, going to New York JFK, A330neo. The airplane is 2 years old, first flight March 2022. Finnair today visiting Amsterdam, sadly not with the A350, but a regular A321. High humidity, condensation in the intake of the engines. Nice. Next up, Finnair to Helsinki, A321. Wiping down all screen surfaces now, including my phone, because whenever those droplets that are on your screen start rolling and the phone interprets it as scrolling, the phone starts doing things that I don't want it to do. Good idea, Adrian, don't forget your glasses, absolutely. First, let's have a look at the departure of Finnair flight 1302, A321 going to Helsinki. There's a nice combo shot there with Emirates flight 146, I think. Dubai. Absolutely lovely cloudy backdrop when the airplane passed over there. Yeah, that's the passenger flight 146. On its way to Helsinki, Finland. No, that's the A321. This one is going to Dubai, obviously. Now flying into the clouds. Meanwhile, the next airplane taking off from Polderbaan is moving to the threshold. It does give me a moment to also wipe my glasses clean. It's not rain that gets you wet, but if you wear glasses or if you're out with cameras, it does provide some hinder in visibility. Alright, good enough. Up next, KLM flight 939 going to Glasgow. It's number 190. The next airplane's coming this way. Over there, more Deltas. It seems that the entire Delta fleet is taking off from our runway, which is good. They are always nice and loud. Now also a big thank you to Arjan for just now gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Arjan. And if you are one of the recipients of Arjan's gifted memberships, don't forget to say dankjewel or thank you to Arjan. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines, those new members. And a big thank you once again to Arjan for gifting us 5 new Aurora Skylines members. Welcome. Delta, Delta, Delta. Now we're still waiting for the Delta A350. Team USA. Flight 75 back to Atlanta. Air Canada is also going to take off as number 2 in a moment. First up, the Delta A330 to Boston, Massachusetts. Also a big thank you to Phil for your super chat. No accompanying text along with it, but thank you so much, Phil. Very much appreciated. Also Joe Mellon, thank you for your kind words. Thanks for this live stream, buddy. He says in Dutch. You're welcome. Hope you guys are having fun and enjoying what you're seeing. If you've been liking what you've been seeing so far, great way to support the channel is to subscribe. This is Delta Airlines flight 243 going to Boston, Massachusetts. It's an A330-300. It is 16 years old, had its first flight in July 2007. Meanwhile, more blue in the sky where the wind is blowing from. Looks like we've seen the worst of the precipitation, which is now south of us. So it looks a bit grim looking over there. However, this looks much better. I think we might even be able to pick some contrails in the sky later. Air Canada up next, flight 809 going to Toronto. This is a 777-200 long range. 16 years old, first flight February 2008. Helicopter Kestrel. I think it is. Ducky doing a flyby. Ready to splash down or not? Not yet. Splash down. Well, we cannot see. Okay. Have it your way. Oh. Now, did not recognize the traffic pattern. Wah, wah. Wah, wah. Right, Daisy has arrived on the scene. The next airplane to take off is a narrow body. The previous airplane that took off was a heavy, so wake turbulence needs to dissipate before this airplane can go. It's an Embraer 190 to Göteborg. As you can see, we have a queue consisting of a few narrow bodies, and now also United to Houston has joined the queue. 777-200, flight 21. 3 narrow bodies preceding the triple, excluding this one. German Airways also there. And there's United. Alrighty, Brody also back in the chat, you made it. Good to see you again, Brody. Next airplane is already going to Edinburgh, KLM flight 927, 737-800. BXH, 23 years old, first flight July 2000. German Airways taking off from center. Pretty soon German Airways will also be taking off from Polderbaan. Preceding it is this Airbus A319 going to London Luton. It is Squeezy Jet. More queasy jet. And now back to that other usual suspect, German Airways. Flying for KLM, Embraer 190, going to Aalborg. Alrighty, time for another heavy hitter. This is United Airlines Flight 21 going to Houston, Texas. It's 777-200. Nicely illuminated by the sun. Here she comes. 22 years old, this one. First flight April 2002. Right, A350-1000 lining up on center. Thank you for the update. There it is, Cathay Pacific A350-1000 on its way to Hong Kong. Stupid cloud. Don't you take away our airplane. Yeah. Alrighty, let's turn back. It is time for another heavy hitter on Polderbaan, and this is KLM Flight 635 to Las Vegas. Las Vegas. 787-10 Dreamliner. PHBKL, 1-year-old, first flight June 2022. So I got the impression that the wind has reduced a little bit again, so I'm thinking maybe disengage the image stabilizer again. If I have the time for it. Image stabilizer disengaged. There we go. Right. Nice and sunny. In the meantime, our next batch of airplanes making its way over here. Air Canada is leading the way. Hey, Dash 8. Coast Guard Dash 8-100 off to patrol. Oh, shit. Right. Hey Clemencia, good to see ya. No others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. Departures from Polderbaan and Center at the moment going on. We're sticking around at least until the Team USA A350 from Delta has taken off to Atlanta again. We saw it land in the first 10 minutes of the stream. And it is expected to take off in 20 or so minutes from now. Now, let's also have a look. Should be a 7478 not taking off, landing. Atlas Air. Going to runway 06. E2 Embraer taking off from Cheaters Lane. KLM flight 1271. Next up, Air Canada flight 901 going to Montreal. This is a 7878 Dreamliner, 9 years old, had its first flight in August 2014. Air Transavia to Porto in Portugal. Behind it. The sun is out, and so to have the heat waves return sadly. We have a little duck playing hide and seek somewhere over there. Further to the right, I think. Yeah, there it is. Anyway. Next up is Transavia Flight 6001 to Porto in Portugal. PHHXE, 7 years old, first flight June 2016. Now next up is going to be KLM Flight 677 to Calgary, 777-200 ER. Meantime, friendly clouds over here most of all. The darkness looks further to the south, looks to be further to the south right now. So this is KLM Flight 677, 777-200 ER, 20 years old, first flight January 2004. And the Britty Hopper in the background. We've got the Britty Hopper to Darlington, now to Manchester. Manned F up in Manchester. KLM Flight 1033, Embraer 190, 15 years old, first flight January 2009. We're also going to see another Dreamliner in a few moments, going to Chicago, coming this way already, KLM Flight 611. Right, Adrian says the A380 is at 5,000 feet at Boskoop. Is it to which runway has it been assigned? Is it going to land on 06 or 36 right? Yeah, right. Howdy Tony, goedemiddag. All is well, dankjewel, thank you for asking. Britty hopper to Manchester. Embraer 190. Okay, 380 to 06, nice. So we can at least have a glimpse of it when it lands in a few moments. Let's zoom out, see where it is then. Okay, yeah, has to get in line. Still south of Leiden, so that is still 10 or so minutes out probably. Gives us ample time to see the next departure, which is KLM Flight 611 to Chicago. It's a KLM Dreamliner PHBKD, 4 years old, first flight November 2019. Let's see, Delta Airlines to Minneapolis. And the A350 has been pushed back. It's alive on the platform, so if you look on the platform you will see Delta Airlines Flight 75. That's going to be the thumbnail of the stream. It's also going to be the last airplane of the day. We missed it, well we did see it, but only from a distance. This morning, in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the stream, we saw it land on 06, just like we are going to see the A380 land on 06 in a couple of minutes. We are going to see it take off. Even if it were to take off from center, it would still be better visible than 06 was this morning. And I'm thinking it's going to pull about. Nice background, oh man. If it wouldn't have been for the A350, something like that would have made a good thumbnail. And Paul says Delta Airlines 75 now pinging and will be departing on this runway as expected. Perfect. Perfect way to end the stream. Parallel departures in progress. In the meantime, Embraer 190 to Basel. Show them who's boss. Boss in Dutch is baas, so Basel. Show them who's boss. Doesn't translate that well in English into English. Boss hell. Send all the nasty bastards to Basel. Make it boss hell. What do you think? Is that a good idea? Krah, krah, krah. I'm asking you something, bro. Krah, krah, krah. Yeah. Coming over? Want to fight it out? Krah, krah, krah. I'm calling you. High and dry. That's the way Russell likes it. Daniel accidentally said squack. Ah, RL is tuning in from Boss Hell. Grüezi. Yeah, go sit over there. That's my normal spot. We're all doing a little bit of a switcheroo. Right, more narrow bodies coming first, leading the way. Embraer 190, Embraer 175. German Airways Embraer 190 will be going to Bremen. And Embraer 175 behind it will be going to Bristol. E2 Embraer, the next airplane behind it, going to Birmingham. Wind is picking up once again, so I'm thinking better go back to image stabilizer while we still have a moment to do that. Next should become visible Delta Airlines flight 163, arriving from going to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and after that playtime. KLM flight 603 to LAX, also coming this way. Delta Airlines flight 75 to Atlanta is on the move, the A350. Mario says you should be able to see the A380 now. Should be able to see it ordinarily. Oh yeah, there it is. Right, so the Emirates A380 flight 147 going to runway 06, which is lucky for us, means that we can see it somewhat decently. I'm hearing an echo. Yeah, I think this is where we're going to lose the A380 from sight. Don't think we'll be able to see it through there. Or will we? It does have a high tail, a tall tail I should say. Oh yeah, there it is. Right, so the A380 has landed. That's one Embraer 175 less on Schiphol Airport. Going to Bristol. Hey, is there a problem with that airplane over there? Looks like it is turning, or is it? Or is that? Oh, it just overtook. Did it overtake the Delta? What did happen? What happened there? Huh. Okay. Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm Boy.
I'm Sweetie.
Sweetie.
You know?
Nice. Yeah, I saw in the chat. You told me you were on the way. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you coming from?
From Germany.
From Germany. Ah, herzlich willkommen.
Dankeschön.
Gern geschehen.
And we are on the way to Zandvoort.
Zandvoort.
Yes. For some days.
for lying on the beach for suntan.
We hope.
Well, from tomorrow onward it should be better. This
better?
is yeah.
Or more windy?
No, it should be better. I think I think this is the last day that we have some rain. Maybe tomorrow morning, but I think that it's going to be dry after that. Believe it or not, I'm still standing here with my winter coat on in the end of May, so you never know. But it should be better. It should get better.
We hope.
I sure hope so for you guys as well. Zandvoort is very nice, but it's not nice when it's very windy and grey and rainy. Oh wow. It's a long weekend in Germany, isn't it?
Yes.
Or yeah, it was a The weekend already began on Thursday, I believe, or wasn't it?
Yes, on Thursday.
I heard it on the news. Traffic jams from Germany into the Netherlands. It was mentioned on the radio that the Germans have a long weekend. Not sure why, what you guys are celebrating, but I did hear long weekend for the Germans. We don't have a holiday here in the Netherlands this weekend, or a long weekend. And last time I checked, there's also a lot of people that are Christian in the Netherlands. So, but then again, we also don't have a day off on the 1st of May, Labor Day. Even though we do recognize it, but it's not an official holiday.
Okay.
But even on our Liberation Day, the 5th of May, it's only a holiday once every 5 years these days. It used to be a free day each year, and then they changed it. Now it's only in the years that are multiples of 5. So 25, 30. We'll have to wait a few more years before it's going to be a holiday for us. Let's see. Next up, Delta to Minneapolis.
And we made the blades for Rolls-Royce.
Really? You make the fan blades for the Rolls-Royce engines?
Yes. For many years I worked there.
I know ThyssenKrupp as a lift company, but I did not know that you guys were also making that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. They make most the little blades in the last part of the engine.
Okay. And who makes the other parts? Is that Rolls-Royce itself?
We made the other blades, the bigger blades in the front too.
Okay.
But the little blades from titanium is you need more. How can I say?
It's a special alloy of special mix of metals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was one of our really big parts, they say, to Rolls-Royce.
Cool. And you personally also helped make those fan blades. Did you also do something that?
Not today. They closed it in 2010.
In 2010, okay. So have you still been working with ThyssenKrupp since then?
No.
Okay. You are working in some aviation related job?
Not yet.
Not yet. Who knows, maybe one day. In the meantime, it is playtime, ladies and gentlemen. Going back to Reykjavik. The chat is all red, like a bloodbath. A massacre took place in the chat. It's all red. Now, folks, the airplane we have been waiting for has arrived on this side of the platform. The Team USA special livery. This airplane was delivered back in April. Tagged the registration in flight radar when Rick tagged me in a notification of the news, so whenever it was live I could see it, and this morning I happened to see it on the way to Amsterdam, the first visit. It landed in the first 10 minutes of the stream. We saw it land on runway 06, and in a few moments we're going to see it off after its first visit to the Netherlands. Now, it's not the very last airplane just yet. We are First seeing KLM Flight 603 take off. Going to LAX. 7879 Dreamliner, the PHP. 5 years old, first flight August 2018. And then the Delta Team USA Special Livery, its first ever visit to the Netherlands. Hopefully one of many more to come in the coming months. Hey Rick, just in time. Perfect. I was just saying it was your tag that made me tag this airplane in Flight Radar so that whenever it was going to come to the Netherlands we would be able to see it. So I'm happy to see that you are here to see its departure from its first ever visit. Kermit is also very enthusiastic. It is the last airplane of today's show. Delta Airlines back to Atlanta, Georgia. The A350-900 Team USA Special Livery. Alrighty, that is going to be it for me. This was the last airplane of today's show, although there is just one 777-300 right behind it. The last plane, the very last plane of today's show then. Wasn't that also the same airplane that yesterday was the last airplane? I think it was. KLM Flight 791, 777-300ER, going to Sao Paulo. It's the PHBVK, 11 years old, first flight May 2013. Nice way to end the stream. Right, Harry the Heron also doing a flyby. He's waving you goodbye, and so too am I. Thank you all so much for joining me here. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream as much as I have. If you like what you have seen, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope that I can go out again tomorrow and do another live stream. Hope to see you then. Thanks for joining me here. Thank you for the support, for the super chats, the super stickers, the gifted memberships, becoming a member yourself. Moderators, also a big thank you for keeping the stream friendly and accessible once again. Hope to see you in the weekend. It should get better in terms of weather, so see ya hopefully tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now. See you soon.